Hey everyone. Now you're probably familiar with the file transfer protocol, or FTP. Now it's been around forever and there's better things to use these days, and the reason is FTP is just not secure. If you're on your own network, of course, where you control the traffic, yeah fine, nothing's going to get out. But the biggest problem with it is passwords are sent in clear text, and so is the data. So what I'm going to do is show you a packet capture of some FTP data and point this out and show you how to get a file from it. So I've got my camera here that looks at the driveway in the street here, and when there's movement, the camera can upload an image to the server using FTP. So what I did is a bit of a capture of that transfer when it happened, so I could go through it with you now. Okay, so on the camera, the settings for FTP are simply the server, the port, which that's the standard FTP port, and a username and password. Now I've just set them both to Hikvision, and it uploads a picture when there's motion in this area. Okay, so today this car went past and it grabbed a still image of it because there was motion there. So here's the capture. What you can see is the client going to the server, SYN/SYN/ACK to port 21. Then you can see all this FTP stuff. Now the protocol, Wireshark's figured out it's FTP, and then later on it changes to a data connection. So it's a new connection with new SYN/SYN/ACK, but I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to look at this first connection first. So I'll just follow that TCP stream. And what you can see is all this stuff here. So the red and blue are just the different ends of the data connection. So you can see straight there, user, Hikvision, password, Hikvision, file name going on there, directory it's going on there, storing that file name, done, complete. Now that's the first thing, that port 21. But if I go to the next data stream, that's the actual data of the JPEG image. So I'll just go back to the capture here and show you everything. So at the start, this first one to port 21 happens there and knows it's FTP. Now over here, you can see the client starts another connection to port 57598. Now that's actually back here. If you go in here, it says, okay, we're going to use this port. That's the last thing the server told it. It said, okay, port 57598, and then the connection started for this. Now, the fact that this says FTP data is only in Wireshark because it saw what preceded it. Okay, it saw this part here. So those two are related. So if I just got this data session here, okay, just got that that session by itself. So that's TCP stream 1, and I save that. So right, if I open that now, just that data only one, and show you that, as far as Wireshark knows, it's just some TCP traffic. It doesn't know that it was part of an FTP thing because it didn't. In this capture, it's only got that stream and it doesn't know that it was instigated from that FTP session. So anyway, I'll go back to the other one. Okay, so here they both are. Now if I go to that data stream and just show that one again, just by itself, all this stuff here is the JPEG image. And you can see down the bottom, you can pick which direction we want. And you can see the one that's got the size on it, which is from the camera to the server. I can show that, and I can also show it as just raw data, just like that. But then I can save that as something. Now I just save that out as picture.jpg. So now I can show picture.jpg, and you see the image. So I've plucked that image straight out of the FTP data that I captured, just like that, without any trouble. I didn't need the password for that, obviously. I just needed to be on the network that it went through. But it's just point out that it's not encrypted in any way whatsoever. So going back to the whole capture here, this initial control channel that has all the username, the password, and where you're storing it, and all this, and the port numbers and that tells Wireshark and everything else that this thing that followed was the data stream. That's how this shows FTP data, when before, when I only had this in the capture, it didn't know that that was FTP data. It could have been anything. So that ties in with some firewall rules. So here's a snippet of a firewall rule that you might have for a connection. Usually you have this for your return traffic, you have connection state established or related. Now established means you've sent the SYN out somewhere and the SYN/ACK comes back. That's part of that stream that we're establishing, right? So that knows that's part of that stream and it keeps it there. This related though is for things like FTP, where it's not the same exact stream, but it is related. So this data stream here is what you'd call related to this one. So that's why it hits that part of the firewall rule, because it is a different session there, you know, new synac ACK, but they're related. So I just thought I'd point that out.
Okay, so I just thought I'd show you that. Firstly, that FTP isn't encrypted in any way, and also how to pluck a file out of a capture from Wireshark. Now, if you wanted to do file transfers like that, a better way these days would be something like SFTP, which is basically SSH. So passwords aren't sent in the clear and the whole thing's encrypted anyway. So that's how I reckon it should be done. But if that's on your own network that you control, it's not really a problem. But I just thought I'd point that out, that that's how it works. But anyway, that'll do for now. Till next time, take it easy.